Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I know it's been a while since I've posted any videos. I just really haven't been working on too many kits here recently. I do want to show off this kit particularly because this was not a build tutorial that I videoed or anything. I just kind of did it off screen, and I thought it turned out pretty good, so I just wanted to show it off. So this is the Klingon Vorcha class destroyer, or cruiser, I'm sorry, by AMT Ertl. I believe it was produced late 80s, if I'm correct. And this is just one of many kits I have from that series that was produced back then of Star Trek starships. And it wasn't too hard to put together. I mean, it had its downfalls with some fit issues, but nothing too bad that I couldn't remedy. Really no seam lines. The ones I did have, I was able to get out pretty easy with some filler and sanding. Overall, not a bad kit, and I did have fun putting it together. Unfortunately, it took me a while to do all this because I started building it and then I stopped. And I kind of let it sit. And then I got tired of looking at it one day, so I picked it back up and get back on the bench, and I finished it. So this is not canon color to what the studio model or studio scale ship is. I did not like the base color that they had chosen. I felt it was just too toyish to me, and I went with the color scheme that you might find on like the Eagle Moss ships, or Eagle Moss version of this, which it's a darker green. It's actually a craft paint by Apple Barrel. It's called Marsh Green, and that's what I basically used as a base coat for this. This model is 90% craft paint. I did use some Tamiyas on some of the detail work, but most of it is craft paint. So I did do a heavy weathering on this ship. I wanted it to look like it was not too battle damaged, but definitely used. I wanted the appearance that this thing has been out in space for a while and has gotten dirty. So I did all the detail work with the red on the wings. Right there. Pretty much all the detail work here on the front. The head was a challenging piece to mask off and paint. Let me get a little closer. It's a little washed out in the camera, but it's actually a lot brighter than that. So basically, I got all the detail painting done, and it looked good, but it was extremely bright, and I didn't want that brightness to it. It didn't look very used to me. So after I did the detail painting, everything was done. I went ahead and I took a light green paint and I thinned it out 99% thinner, and just a little bit of paint inside. I wanted just a dusting coat, so I gave it a good dusting coat, which really toned down all those markings. You can still see them, but they're extremely toned down. They're not as stark as they used to be, and it gave it a much more weathered look. And then I went over with a black wash just to highlight some of the paneling and stuff like that, and inside here on the side. I'll give you a look at the nacelles. Here's the back. That's just transparent Tamiya red on the impulse engines there. And then there's the underneath. So after that was all said and done, I gave it its black wash, and I gave it a dull coat, and that pretty much finished off the aesthetics of the ship. And I think it came out pretty good. It definitely is extremely weathered. At first I thought may have been too much of the weathering at first, but I'll give you a look at the rear of the engine too. So at first I thought maybe a little too much weathering on it, but after looking at it, I thought, you know what, it's just right for me. I like it. But as I said, this does light up. So I will go ahead and actually turn on the lights for you so you can see what it looks like. I did not use any fiber optics in the windows. I only used fiber optics for the navigational lights and the strobe lights on this. I did not want to use fiber optics for the window lights because I wanted them to have that look of when you're looking dead on at the window, you see the light, but then as the ship turns, the light disappears, because that's pretty much what you'd see in space. I didn't want it overly lit, so there we go. Now the camera is going to blow out the red a lot, but it's nowhere near as bright as what you're seeing in the camera. You can see, at least I hope you can see. There you go. So you can see the lights underneath there. Now you can also tell as you're turning the ship around, those lights disappear. And as you come around a little more of a facing head on, you see them. Then I got the back here. There's the impulse engines. Underside is the nacelles. There's my navigational red and greens. And I have navigational as well as two flashers underneath and up front. That's that. I did a couple of fiber optics on the very front nose right there, where the red is. That was just painted to me a red on top of the fiber optic. And then on the side. And here's a kind of a head-on look at it. This light up here did get a little too bright for me, but I kind of stuck with it now. And on the head you can see, the bevel head, you can see the lights there. So all in all, I think it turned out really good. I'm really happy with it. I kind of regret not doing a build video on this, especially when I got to the painting part of it and the weathering on it. Now, I did not buy any aftermarket parts for this. I did cut out this entire section here where the grill work was at. I cut that all out, and I just built in, I made my own grills, used styrene plastic and a opaque clear for the backing. I did modify these a little bit. Instead of being flush here at the bottom where the ribs meet the frame at the bottom, they're kind of inset, so they're kind of dropped down a little bit. I did that just because I wanted something a little bit different than what was on the show. It's not canon, but I thought it looked kind of cool when I put them in, and I noticed they had kind of went down a little bit and were not meeting flush with the frame. And at first I thought, oh man, I screwed that up, but I like it, so I kept it and just put it around the framework there to make it look like it was all one unit. Came out pretty good. Can't see any seam lines at all. This whole thing right here is just a frame with the ribs that went in as an insert, but came out really good. The flashing lights are fiber optics going down to one light to a circuit board, two on the top and two on the bottom, right. See them flashing there, and I also have one on the bottom of each nacelle. And what I used for the flashing lights, and I'll actually get it for you and show you. I didn't buy, like I said, I didn't buy any aftermarket parts for this, but I did buy a bunch of these in the past. These are looks like the box is popping out here. These are for railroad crossing lights. And basically it's just a circuit board that you can buy it like this and you put it together. It's got the instructions on the back of how to assemble everything, and this has been put together, and as you can see right here on the bottom is right there. It has a potentiometer on it, or 2 potentiometers, so you can control the speed at which these are flashing. I wanted to go with a strobe effect, so you just turn the potentiometer until you get the desired flash you're looking for. And I have a bunch of these that I keep on. Sorry, camera. I got a bunch of these I keep on hand, and I just build them as I need them. This is running at 12 volts. As I said before, fiber optics are for the nav lights, which I never saw them flashing in the show, so I did not make them flashing on the kit. But overall, I think it came out really good. I am really pleased with this, and the stand is another topic. So, and this does rotate. As you see, it's a wooden stand. What you're seeing on the outside of this stand is a 3D printed, or 3D printed panels. What I did basically was I got on Tinkercad and I designed 4 panels for each side, or 4 panels for the sides and a panel for the top. And then I measured out a hole for the switch to go into, as well as the mounting rod. And then for the mounting rod, I took a piece of copper tubing that was just a little bigger than the diameter of the base, so it would slide, and I used a pipe cutter to cut it. And what that does is it crimps one end. So by crimping the one end, I was able to push it into the hole here, and then just drop the rod in, and the rod stopped from going all the way through because it's crimped. So it's kind of, basically it's, the bottom's coned in like this, so the rod stays in place. As far as these panels go, like I said, I designed this pattern on Tinkercad. I printed them up and then I glued them onto the box, and I sealed in the edges with some putty. And then when that was done, I gave it a base coat of black. Then I gave it a kind of a spritzing of hammered metal that I have in the garage. Not a full coat, just a little bit, just to give it some tone variation. And then I went in with a series of 2 different color coppers and some silver, and I dry brushed everything. And that's all I did. And I just let it sit. I wanted the stand to look like it was, well, something that a Klingon would have, which is usually rusted and not looking the best. So the stand, like I said, came out really good. I initially was just going to use the box and paint the box black, but I thought, you know, I wanted to use my 3D printer, and I wanted to upscale the stand a little bit as kind of a tryout to see if this would work on other model kits I have. And printing these were really easy to do. I mean, it's just a series of blocks on the program with insets around the blocks. So super easy to do. No rhyme or reason how this looks. And I think the copper dry brushing really made things look stand out as far as looking kind of old and rusted. I did dry brush the silver first, and then I went afterwards with the coppers very lightly. And it definitely, I mean, seeing the black, some of the black showing through, and then this copper definitely kind of gives it the illusion of rust. You can also use regular rust colored pigments. If you wanted to do heavier rust, you could do it as well. I didn't want to go that far. I just wanted just a light look of rust, so the copper paints worked out perfectly for that. And I think all in all, the stand, I almost like the stand more than the model, to be honest with you. I am pretty impressed with it. I think it came out really good. The weathering was a first for me. I've never tried to do a blending coat before on a model like this with such high detail. Well, no, I take that back. I did do a blending coat once before on my Klingon Kronos 1, but it did not work out well, and I wasn't happy with the results. And I kind of was scared to do it again, but I thought I should give it a try anyway. So I tried it again, and you have to be careful using the blending coat because you don't want to obliterate the detail, but you also don't want it to be so stark. So it's a trial and error thing. You've got to try it a couple of times before you get it right. But I think I nailed it on this one. You can clearly see the detail of the red paint, of the red markings, and the lighter color markings on the sides here and everywhere else. So it didn't obliterate it, but it definitely did seriously tone it down a lot, which is what I wanted. So yeah, I think I finally got the hang of blending on this thing. So, and I thought, it looked really good here. I thought I really wanted the stand to continue the look of Klingon, and I think I captured that with this stand. So very easy print to do. But anyway, yeah, that's my AMT Ertl Klingon Vorcha class cruiser. I'm very happy with this, so I just wanted to share that with everybody, and I'll be pumping out another video here shortly on my next build. I'm going to go into some Battlestar Galactica mode and work on some of their kits. So I want to thank everybody for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section below. If you'll be so kind as to give me a thumbs up and a like, or a like on this, would be awesome. And if you want to leave a comment, please do. I appreciate any and all comments, bad or good, or if you have any questions. So anyway, I'm going to stop babbling on, and I'm going to get to work on my next video for my next build. So thanks again for watching, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great weekend, and until next time, I will see you later. Bye.